Video games.
What up, dudes? Matt here from YoVideogames, and I wanted to basically give you my sort of final impressions and thoughts on the Invincible versus closed alpha, which just wrapped yesterday, and I was lucky enough to be part of it. And full disclosure, I'm allowed to say this. I was brought in a while ago. I actually can't remember the exact date, but like close to a year ago to basically consult whatever on a super early version of this game. So I have seen a much earlier build of this game. I'm allowed to say that, I think, from what I remember. So yeah, I just wanted to come in like this is not technically not my first time going hands on, and I am not like unfamiliar with the developer. Um, with all that being said, though, I just want to say that, like, first of all, I feel like the game has come an incredibly long way from the very really early initial pitches of the title, and that I'm excited for it. I'm not paid for my work. I want that to be known to you too. Like, nothing I've done with this game, as far as like any sort of surveys or anything, nothing is paid. Like, I have no paid affiliation with this title whatsoever. But yeah, the alpha was like the first chance where I could actually just sit down, on my own and just go into tutorial or go online and just on my own, just play the game against people of all kinds of various skill levels and not just the killers, that usually get brought in for, early testing. So one thing is, I don't have any affiliation or knowledge of the show or the comic book. I haven't read it. I haven't watched it. I mean, I've seen many of the clips. I almost know the plot of this series through osmosis, basically at this point. But this is a franchise I'm unfamiliar with, honestly. So for me, it's all new to me to basically see and be introduced to these characters. And I think, if anything, I kind of want to just say, like, right off the bat, like, this game does a very, very good job of making you feel like you get the characters, because there is so much unique dialogue in the battle, in the intros, in the character swapping, where like one character dies and the other character comes in, and they basically trade barbs, and then in the outros, they are all unique. Every single interaction, character to character, is unique. And there's 2 to 3 intros they can give. There's like 2 mid fight quips they could give, and there's like at least 2 per character set. There's like 2 outros. So like they will say something, like every single bit of dialogue, for the outro, intro, mid, is unique. And it's not even the same one. It's literally like 2, sometimes 3 per character. So they've gone so far above and beyond on the sort of presentation aspect of, like, hey, characters are going to talk to each other directly every single time, and you're going to get unique dialogue, and it's not going to be the same quip every single time. It's going to be one of 2 or 3, and just absolutely wonderful. I think that does so much for someone unfamiliar to be like, okay, well, now I know who these characters are. Like, I pick a character like Monster Girl, and it's like, okay, this little kid, little teenage tween girl comes in, and she turns into a big, giant, like Hulk abomination looking character. And just from the dialogue between the characters, you kind of learn who they normally work with, who they're normally, friends with, who they're normally enemies with, so on and so forth. And it's just a wonderful thing where it feels like there's more work done on getting people up to speed with the franchise in this game than there are in even similar games, such as 2XKO, where characters say things, but it's kind of like everyone feels like a generic sort of, designed by committee. This guy's a wandering samurai, he follows the wind, this is a cute mascot character. They say cutesy bullshit, and the other thing, speaking of bullshit, that's actually the other thing about Invincible that I should just touch in really quick here. It's the first thing you're going to obviously see and hear, is that this is a hyper-violent game. It's bloody as shit. Characters get turned into mulch. If you kill someone with a super or an EX, their body gets delimbed and you can like punch heads off, knock heads off. You could like destroy like their midsection so only their limbs and head remain. Like, people get fucking disintegrated in this game, like MK style almost. And the other thing is that it is a foul-mouthed ass game. Like, the level 3 for Rexplosion, he literally throws out a bunch of bombs that spell the word "fuck you" out. and then they blow you up. And the characters are foul mouthed too, like not like constantly, but like just enough. Um, there's even like little quips where like characters are like if you basically get beat up, like you get comboed. Like one of the things Monster Girl does be like, well, if she gets knocked down, she'll be like motherfucker, just like as she gets back up. And like if you sometimes I've even seen the thing where like I drop a combo and I hear the character go, oh shit, when the combo whiffs or whatever, or the active tag whiffs. So there's just an insane amount of detail done into the sort of presentation and voice work in this game. Again, I think the only one that's from the show is J.K. Simmons, but that's the most important one. So, but I think all the other voice actors are doing a great job. I'm not familiar, so I don't know how accurate or inaccurate some of these other voices sound. I just know that the acting is doing a really good job, and there's a ton of voice lines, and everything feels like a very cohesive vision. If anything. So getting all that out of the way, like how does the game play? Because a lot of people think about it, they see the violence and they sort of see the way some characters sort of like pose like very kind of like rigidly, and they think it's an NRS game and they think it looks and feels and moves, and it doesn't really. You only think so for the first few seconds, but then you play it and you start realizing like, yeah, the way the character sort of momentum moves is then definitely not NRS. So this is from a new developer called Quarter Up, and there are some former Killer Instinct developers from the 2013 version of Killer Instinct, and it really, really shows there's some very good mechanics sort of brought over from the Killer Instinct reboot game. One is like the combo meter, and the one is the sort of defense mechanics. So yeah, this is a 3v3 tag fighter in the vein of Marvel vs. Capcom. And in fact, I'm going to tell you this right now, and people were realizing this at EVO, this is much closer to the Marvel vs. Capcom style of game than Tokon is. Tokon is its own thing that's much more like other Arc System fighters, where this game is very much like Killer Instinct meets Marvel vs. Capcom 3, I guess. So this is much more. It's trying to do that again. It's 3v3 fighter. The tag mechanics, the combo system, air dashing even, but not air dashing. Not for every character. This is much more like a Capcom versus style fighter. It is very much intentional. It is very much what they're trying to do here. They're trying to do a big 3v3 fighting game with lots of combos, a lot of air combos, delayed hyper combos, delayed. There's a lot going on in the game. And again, I'm trying to sort of just make this video just for the casual and intermediate level, because that's where I'm like low intermediate. I know what I'm doing. I know what the mechanics are, but I'm not like the best at execution, and I'm not like pro level at all. So I'm like a low intermediate level person. I got 101 wins during the course of this closed alpha, which was a personal goal of mine, and I'm very happy I got there. But yeah, this is a game where it's kind of nice too, because if you're like me and you don't know the characters, they actually tell you what the character archetype is on the character select screen. So it'll tell you like this character is Rushdown, this character is like Zoner, this character is that. So you get a really good idea like just from the rip, like, okay, well, I don't know who's who should I pick? Well, like, well, what do you like? I tended to like the heavy brawler types because they're not grapplers, they're just big brawlers. Big giant punch people like Monster Girl and Battle Beast, and I really enjoyed them. But I also really do like a fast rushdown character, and that's where Bulletproof kind of came in for me. But Invincible himself or Omni-Man, also great choices if you kind of like the more faster paced rushdown characters. One thing I will say right now, like if there is, and I don't really want to focus too much on like the sort of negative aspect, is like I do think the zoners do feel a little frustratingly annoying to deal with. Like if someone's playing Cecil and they have robot as their assist, so it's going to be like Marvel vs. Capcom style where you can have them the assist come in, do a move, jump, and then go away. It's not like, or you could do a full tag. If you're doing assist moves where they just jump in, like these zoner characters can make life miserable for the brawler characters. The brawler characters have no air dash. They have they have very limited mobility options. And people, if you're a Cecil with a robot assist, you can play Injustice 2, and it's really kind of frustrating and annoying. I'm hopeful that at some point there's some way they can find some way or something to do that will make the zoners do a little more than just spam projectiles all day. I don't know if that's like give some of the slower characters some means of getting in better. I don't know. But this is kind of like the only like real annoying part is that zoners just kind of are, they're just not fun to play against, and they're actually kind of boring to watch, honestly. But yeah, there's that. And then as far as like the mechanics of this game go, there's so much hidden depth. I just really want to say that you look at the game and you think, okay, it's just sort of it's got an auto combo if you just mash the lights, and it's got like very simple mechanics, light, heavy, medium combo, like that's like the basic route. But there's so much crazy hidden stuff in the game, not just push block, but push block is in there. But there's combo breakers, there's active tag breakers, there's all kinds of mechanics in the game. They even brought in a lot of KI stuff where, let's say, like, you're gonna do, someone's gonna break you, gonna break your tag. So like you're beating up a person, right? And then you're gonna swap to another character to continue the combo, because that's one way to extend your combo is beat a person up, send another person in, make the combo go longer. Let's say someone's gonna try to break that. You can delay the tag, have the person come in slower with a certain button combination. You can even feint, you can do a counter breaker mechanic on the tag where a person comes in, you think they're going to try to break you, but you're going to feint. The tagged person will come in and just not do anything. They'll feint, and then that leaves the person you were calling their play, leaves them wide open. It functionally, it is the exact same thing as counter breaker, but let me be try to be very specific here, very clear, because I know it's hard with all the mumbo jumbo and fighting game lingo. The biggest problem with Invincible right now, I feel, is not that it doesn't have defense mechanics, because it does, and it's great. I love the fact that it does have as many defense mechanics as it does, because versus games need this. They need more defensive mechanics. Versus games get so caught up in how long can we make the combo go? How many offensive tools can we give you? That I feel they always leave defensive stuff in the dust, and it always makes the games turn into these touch of death kind of snooze fest at high level. And I love the fact that this game definitely is aware of that defense mechanics. And this is where I think the talent and the skill and the legacy knowledge from Killer Instinct developers are really coming into play here, because they made one of the best defensive mechanic video games of all time. And I love that they're in here. But here's the problem with the game is that most of the defense mechanics are tied to tagging mechanics, tied to some sort of tag option or tag ability, and the other is they are nowhere near as clear or easy to understand as Killer Instinct was. Killer Instinct, someone does a combo and you just press the lights, the mediums, or the heavies. Like if you see them doing a bunch of heavy hits in their combos, you press the heavies, you break them. That's it. Okay, heavies break heavies, mediums break mediums, right? And then also in KI, if you guessed wrong on trying to break someone, it would literally show you immediately L, M, or H, and it would color code it, saying like you guessed wrong. The correct answer was this. This game kind of does that because it'll flash red if, say, you're early or late on a tag break. But it's very quick, and there's like 4 characters jumping in and out of the screen, which makes visually a little confusing. And then it only says like early or late very quickly on the left or right side of the screen, and it goes away really fast. Where KI was like right above your character's head, like it was very clear and concise in KI. If, say, you tried to use a defense mechanic and you used it incorrectly or you timed it wrong, it was very clear what you did wrong in KI. It gave you instant visual feedback. This game doesn't really do it as well. And again, it's not a simple, because the thing is in KI, it's if you wanted to counter break, which is someone was going to break you, so you're going to stop your combo and feint. You literally just press all the buttons. You press the lights, you press the mediums, you press the heavies. So counter breaker and combo breaker literally worked the same. Like you didn't have to memorize different things. It wasn't different button presses for different things. In this game, it's like, if I want to keep my combo going, I have to hit this combination of buttons. If I want to stop the combo, I have to press this set of buttons at this specific time, which is very different, which is completely different from the button input the guy doing the combo is. Where KI, very clear, very easy to understand. Like the same buttons worked pretty much the same way. And I don't know what the solution is, unfortunately, because this game is a game about light, heavy, medium. Or I'm sorry, light, medium, heavy, and then it's got a boost button and it's got assist 1 and assist 2, and then you've got boost and dash, and you've got all these other things. But again, the game is being built with controller in mind. There's 2 control schemes. I didn't play with standard, which is the one made for controller. I played with motion inputs, which is made for arcade stick people like me, and it worked really well. It's just that the defense mechanics, unfortunately, they seem to be really tied to having another person in your defense. So I don't know if that's actually true, but they're also, the inputs are not anywhere near as clear or easy to learn as KI. And I feel the sort of simplicity of like, okay, KI is very much like, okay, just tap lights, tap medium, tap heavies to any one of them at any point to break a combo, any one of them at any point to counter break a combo. If someone was doing a super on you, you just press memes, 1, 2, 3. Like it was like the same or similar input for all of the defense mechanic stuff in KI. In this game, it's the offense and the defense, and like everything is like a unique button press. And I think that it's a little annoying, and it's a little like hard to wrap your brain around, because like a general break in this game on motion control is dash plus assist. So you press like 2 bottom buttons, but it's like, but if you wanted to do a tag break or break someone's when they're tagging someone in, you press medium medium attack with assist 1. It's a whole different button press. Like in Street Fighter terminology, if I wanted to do a regular sort of get off me move, which consumes a ton of meter and is very risky, to miss, I have to press light kick, medium kick. On Street Fighter terminology, if I want to do a tag breaker, which doesn't have as much risk, I don't lose as much using it, I press medium punch, medium kick, 2 different set of buttons. Like again, like the defense mechanics in this game are different combinations of buttons, and they're not even symmetrical. They're perpendicular on the arcade stick, actually. So that's the one thing where I just feel like you'll get used to it over time. But from a casual intermediate perspective, it's a little annoying how, on standard controls, you're going to press medium and heavy to do this, but you're going to press a different set of buttons to do that, for this defensive mechanic versus that defensive mechanic. And I think it's just a little it's a little overbearing. It's a little like, God, why does it have to be so jumbled with it? I actually hope that in a weird sort of way, they could maybe find a way on sticks, since most sticks have 8 buttons, even though you don't usually use the 8 buttons. Maybe we could find a way to hotkey a bunch of defensive mechanics onto unused buttons, like all the way at the end. Maybe there's a solution there, possibly. I know the idea is to try to make it 6-button fighter, because 6-button is sort of like the ideal setup. It's what most hitboxes and leverlesses use and stuff. So, that being said, I don't want to focus too much on that aspect, because I think the biggest strength of this game, one, is that like you press the buttons, things do what you feel they're supposed to do. You press light, medium, heavy, goes into a super. The other thing is that like lights are lightning fast, even on the heavy brawler characters. Like if you're knocked down, if you just wake up with a light, you're almost guaranteed to hit someone. They come out like 0 frame. It's crazy how much like just simple lights, on a wake up actually work in this game. And I think that's fair. I think that I actually like this. I know some people are feeling like, no, you shouldn't be able to like wake up so easily and counter hit. And I'm like, I feel like if someone's knocked down, I feel like they should have priority on lights getting up. And the other thing I really like about this game, unlike, hey, I'm not getting paid for anything, but so unlike fucking 2XKO, in this game, lights are the fastest. In 2XKO, I have characters in that game I play where doing a medium or a down medium is actually the fastest move the character has, and it's like, fucking why? This game feels way more logical in its approach to how moves work. And the other thing I have to say on motion inputs, very happy with, same inputs, universal inputs: quarter circle forward, quarter circle back, or shore you forward. Those are your special moves. Supers. The really interesting way on motion inputs that they showed off at Evo, I think really works too, where you do quarter circle forward or back or shore you. On medium, you get an EX version. On a light, you get a regular version. On heavy, you get a super. Super is just do a quarter circle forward heavy. That's your special one. Do a Shoryu forward on, or do a Shoryuken on heavy. That's your level 3. Do a quarter circle back, a Hadouken or a hurricane kick, on heavy, and that's your special, the second special one. They call it special 2. So I like how there's universal inputs. Everyone has the same inputs. No memorizing. Is this character a charge character? Is this character back and forward? Is this character a Rekka? No, it's universal inputs, and I think that's huge, especially for the casual audience. It's like people don't have to memorize whole different button combinations for their character, and I think that's wonderful. I think that's really great. I think there's been a lot of thought put into making the game easy enough to sort of teach to casuals. It's the thing is that there's this massive hidden amount of depth to the defensive mechanics, and I wish they weren't as complicated as they were, because the offensive mechanics are so well done in this game. Like, if you're just, I don't know how to play video games, you can just mash the light button. If you mash the light button, you'll get an auto combo, and if you have at least 1 bar of super, that auto combo ends in a level 1 super. It's great. It's not the most optimal. It's not going to give you the most damage. And again, there's a combo meter like in KI, where once it fills up, it pops out. So you can't get the super long string combos by mashing light. Lights will always just end in a level 1. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. Super. You're not going to get like a crazy tag combo unless you start doing other inputs. I like that. Like it's going to give you just enough damage and enough cool shit to be like, okay, I can mash a button and I can see cool shit happen. I can, if I want to learn the simplest command of, light, medium, heavy, super, light, medium, heavy, and then like Hadouken with a heavy to end it. That's a good combo. It's not the best combo, but it's a good combo, and it's going to give you more damage than the auto combo of just tapping one button doing nothing. It's good. I mean, again, I think the offensive mechanics are very well done and very well presented and very easy to understand. It's the defensive stuff that's cool, but goddamn, and that's not even getting into like heroic strikes, or the fact that you can do charges, or you can and how EXs will beat through stuff. But there's a lot more of the in-depth fighting game stuff that you actually want in a versus fighter. It's here. It's not necessarily like surface level as much, but it's there, and it is really cool, and it is going to make high level play interesting to see people do feints and do delayed heavy attack tag ins and stuff like that. As someone who's not good at versus games, never been good at versus games, this is the easiest it has ever been outside of like an auto combo to do a massive delayed hyper combo tag and whatever. I've never been able in any other versus fighting game to do a thing where I can start a combo, launch a dude, do an air combo, do a super one, tag in, do a slight other combo, tag in another character, finish with that super, tag in a third character, get a third super combo going. I have never been able before to do the crazy long air combos that I can in this game. And that is a testament to the game's offensive controls being as good as they are, because I've never been able to do this before until this game. And that's why it's fun, because the offensive stuff is easy to learn. It's the defensive stuff is like, learn a couple things, I guess. But yeah, I do wish and hope there is something within the final game to either ease this in or find an easier route or something. This is my one real honest to God feedback, and I hope if anyone from Quarter Up is listening, it's just like, I love your defensive mechanics. I just wish they were a little easier to understand, a little easier to remember, like the offensive mechanics are. So I'm actually very much looking forward to this game. This is a game that is fantastic for anyone, not just fans. I think fans will get more out of it, of course, but I'm actually loving these characters. I am attached and enjoying the banter and the camaraderie and the shit talking between the characters in this game, and I know nothing about them, and that is something I cannot say for a similar IP fighter such as 2XKO, which kind of just left me feeling like, okay, whatever. Like these characters mean nothing to me, and they're not doing anything to sell them to me. So super kudos on making great use of an IP, and I think that's the true mark of a proper use of an IP, is when you can get someone into the game and into the characters if they know nothing about it coming in. So big props there. Love how simple you've made things doing. I love how unified controls. I love how, like, you know, the inputs are unified between all the characters, you know, despite, you know, if they're rushdown, if they're, you know, Shoto, quote unquote, or if they're brawler, or even zoner. I loved that. But yeah, like, just hopefully something can be done to like ease the defensive stuff in, but otherwise this is turning out very, very well. And I think everyone who goes hands on with this game always comes away more impressed than they thought. Like, even because I think the game looks really good, and I really love the background damage on the city level, the hometown level, and I'm hoping to see more of that in the other stages in the final game. But I think everyone who comes away from this after playing goes like, "Wow, this is way more. This is even more fun than I thought," or "This is better than I even imagined." So it's always the word of mouth is generally from Evo and from this alpha is always like, "Yeah, this game's actually a lot more fun than I thought." I thought it was. You think you're getting it. You think you're getting Injustice 2, like a tag version of Injustice 2, but you're not getting that. You're literally getting Killer Instinct meets Marvel vs. Capcom, and it's turning out very, very well. And I'm very excited for the final product. I have high hopes for it. Kudos to Quarter Up, and yeah, looking forward to playing more of this in the future. And that's all I got to say on it. Let me know what you guys think, if you got to play the alpha, if you got to play it at Evo, and I will see you on the channel. Later, dudes.